Hey guys! Okay, I've already gotten started on this eye just because I wanted to save time. I'm using this Sephora Pro editorial palette along with some of the Dragon's Egg eye opals by my friend Jess. A lot of shit has happened since my last Get Ready With Me. As a lot of you know, in that last Get Ready With Me I announced that I was having surgery. It has now been, well, I posted a bunch of updates, like a couple updates after surgery. It has now been 6 weeks, just over 6 weeks, since my surgery, and I'm doing awesome. Like, everything is great. I feel completely normal. Even better than normal, honestly. It feels so freeing to just be able to wear whatever I want and move however I want and not have to worry about it. Yeah, I started esthetician school about a month ago now. It is intense. It's so intense. It's like crazy how intense this is. It's required a lot of my time and a lot of my attention, so if you've noticed that I'm kind of phoning it in my videos, you'll have to forgive me. It's just, you know, I'm working with whatever I have at the time, so whatever energy I have, whatever time I have, that's what I put in to these videos. Like, what I'm not putting into school pretty much gets put here. Tests every single week, so it's a lot of studying, it's a lot of review at home, and it's very fast-paced because they're trying to fit a lot into very little time. So I'm having to keep up with the pace when I haven't, you know, seen the inside of a classroom in 6 years, which is proven to be more of a challenge than I anticipated, but, you know, I'm rising to the occasion. I'm getting shit done, you know. You know, I feel excited about going to school. You know, I don't dread it at all. I'm excited to be learning something that I'm passionate about, and I thought I was gonna sort of, you know, like, not really enjoy learning about skincare because I was going into it, I was definitely more of a makeup artistry focused person, but the more I learn about skincare, the more curious and intrigued I become, and it's just turned into something that I'm really excited to learn about and passionate about, and it's such a great feeling to have that, you know? Oh my gosh, I feel so bad, guys. I've been so shitty about responding to messages lately. I'm so sorry. I know some of you guys have messaged me asking about how school's going or asking for advice, and I love talking to you guys. It's like, you know, when people actually do interact with me, it's like one of the best things. But I've been so bad at keeping in touch because I've been so busy, and I know that's no excuse, but I'm so sorry. If you've messaged me, rest assured I did receive it. It's just I'm so swamped right now. I'm like, if I'm not driving to class or in class, I'm studying, like, just flat out. I have no time. And from here, I don't really know what I'm doing. You know, I got the colors on my eyeballs, and it's like, great, the colors are on my eyeballs. Now what? I feel like I want to do something in here, but I don't know what. I am performing burlesque again, which is nice. It's nice to be back to performing. I missed it. And I stepped away a lot of the time because of the drama that happens, you know? It's just, you know, with performers in general, not just with burlesque performers, but with performers in general, there's a lot of competition, there's a lot of, you know, competitiveness for gigs, competitiveness for social media attention. There's a lot of kind of scandal, artificial or otherwise, that gets created from that. And it was just really toxic at one point. And so I was still grieving for my mom. I still am to a certain degree, and I will be probably for the next few years. But I finally decided, like, I can't do this, you know, and you have to know when to step away, because at that point I was like, I do not have the emotional capacity to deal with all this right now. And most of it didn't even involve me. That's the craziest part about it. I stayed out of all of the competition and the scandal, and I kept my head down, and I did the thing, but it got to a point where it stopped being fun, and nobody that would book me for shows really produced anymore. So I just sort of took a step back and I was like, I'm gonna focus on my actual career that's, you know, stands to make me considerably more money and requires a considerably higher amount of energy on my part. And I'll tell you what, as a result of school, I've had to get facials done like every other day. I know, it's awful, but facials, guys, like, oh my god, go see an esthetician, because my skin has improved tenfold since I started, you know, getting facials and getting a custom designed sort of skin care routine, just revamping everything. I'm still not done revamping my skincare routine. There's still things that can be added or taken away, but I'm still tweaking it. That's why I haven't made a video about it. Eventually, I will be making a video about my skincare routine, but there's a few more things that I think I want to change or, you know, mess around with a little more. But you can see, like, my skin's condition is considerably improved. It's a lot less inflamed. I'm breaking out right now because hormones, but it's way better. It's so much better. Chances are good, if you know me and you hang out with me in person at all, I'm extracting your comedones in my head. So I'm gonna put on some lashes and I'm gonna put on my foundation and stuff, and then I'll be back to finish this look for you guys. Hey guys! Okay, so the Ardell Mega Volume 250s were a pain in my ass for some reason. I normally have no problem with that shape of lash, but that particular one, the band was not bending for me, so ditched those, opted for 105s today, and I'm just gonna have to stick with those from here on out because they're amazing. I love the 105s. I mentioned them in my, one of my videos. I can't remember which. I don't think it was a favorites video because I never actually did a favorites video for August. A lot of the favorites that I would mention are ones that I've mentioned in other favorites videos. They're things that I've been using for ages now. I'm really not buying a whole lot of new makeup these days, partly because ain't nobody got time for that right now, and partly because, you know, I have so much shit already, and with my husband about to get out of the military, I'm really watching my budget here pretty carefully, so I'm avoiding spending too much. And the palette of the month, which is the last thing I meant to talk about in this video, the Smashbox Create and Transform Masterclass palette, I adore this. The only things that I haven't really used that much, if at all, are the lipsticks, because I'm not a cream lipstick person. I definitely prefer liquid lipsticks on myself, because they're just less muss, less fuss. So I never really used those. Sorry about it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to use a product that I know I'm probably not going to be, you know, a huge fan of. But other than that, guys, this palette is fantastic. It's so much fun to play with. I've done a couple videos about it, as well as using it multiple times, and the shadow quality is excellent. The pigmentation is fantastic. The blending is easy. I'm not running into any problems there, and the cheek products are fantastic as well, and they also make great eyeshadows if there's something you're missing in here. For this month's palette of the month, I'm kind of on the fence. I think I'm going to mess around with this Sephora Pro editorial palette. Just because I did neutrals here last week, so I'm trying to hop between neutrals and bright colors, and then we'll talk about the Lorac Unzipped Sunsets, because I finally have all three of them, finally got the mountain one, in October, although October might be a little bit different because that's going to be Halloween time, so I'm going to be, you know, creating other looks. But we'll see how things go. You know, this is not set in stone. There doesn't have to be a palette of the month every single month. You know, I might skip some months if I feel compelled to use something else or whatever. It's really not anything like set in stone by law. I have to do this, but it's just a way to sort of get me to use the products I have rather than buying new ones. One last thing that I completely forgot to talk about because it's still hitting me even today. I adopted a cat. Which, you know, if you're friends with me on Facebook, you already know the whole saga that went down. Basically, long story short, we had a stray feral kitten that was wandering around for a while, and I kept posting kitty updates on my Facebook, And then sadly, that kitten ended up getting snatched up by a predatory bird. She was only about maybe 6 weeks old, if that. So it was really sad, and Justin and I were really kind of torn up about it because it's not, you know, you never want that to happen. You know what I mean? When fate drops an adorable kitten in your lap and then snatches it away just as quickly, it's tragic. It's absolutely heartbreaking. And we sort of were recovering from that, but we did have every intention of adopting a cat eventually. Because around here, you know, in the backwoods, it helps to have a kitten around, or a kitty of some sort, because there are mice that we get in the house sometimes. And so it's nice to have sort of a natural way to address that issue without me having to be responsible for harming any creature. We had every intention of adopting this other kitten, but then that happened and we were just like, oh my god, this sucks. And, you know, sort of recovering from the grief associated with that. And then one of my friends, who I've known since high school, Brittany, hey girl, she was, you know, she had found this cat who was wandering around near her house, and she had every intention of keeping him initially, but then she was, you know, she realized she's getting married, she's planning a wedding, and she was like, I don't have the money to take on another pet right now. She knew that I was in the market, and she was like, well, in the market, that sounds so impersonal. She knew that Justin and I were eventually going to adopt, and she was like, would you take this cat, because I know that they would be in good hands with you. And I was like, yeah. Well, I asked my husband first. I was like, yeah, sure, bring him over. So I basically stumbled, tripped, and fell into cat parenthood again. We took him to the vet yesterday, and he's in perfect health. FIV and FLV negative, thank God. He is a boy, and he is a mix of tuxedo and smoked tabby, or smoked tabby, however you call that. But he's like black and white, or at least he looks it at first, but the black spots are actually tabby. They're like black and gray tabby spots. And he's perfect, and he's wonderful, and we just, like, from the minute he came into the house, he is a lover. He just loves being around people. That's like his favorite thing in the whole wide world is food and being around people. And he's just the sweetest thing in the entire universe. And the whole time, I was just like, oh my god, what is your name? Because I have this thing where, you know, I don't give my pets names. My pets tell me their names, you know, just through their personality. He was absolutely perfect. He was so well behaved. And I was just like, for a cat to be this well socialized, you know, this early on, we've only had him for maybe like 3 days, and he's already so well-mannered and so socialized, and he loves people, and it's just, he's like the absolute perfect gentleman. He's the best cat on earth. He's one of the most socialized cats I've ever seen. I mean, I've been owning cats all my life, and this is like the most social cat right out the gate. He loves to be held, he loves to be cuddled, and he's just the best little cat. And I was just like, what is your name? I want to give you a name. But perfectly healthy. He got tested, he got vaccinated, everything looks good. He's about 4 months old, so he's still a little young to be neutered yet, but we are planning on doing that as soon as time allows. And my vet was just gushing over how perfect he was. She was like, I can't believe this cat is so well socialized and well mannered so early on. He's perfect. And I kept hearing the word perfect, and I kept describing him as perfect, like, oh my god, this cat is perfect. And so then I realized, wait, you know, the name had been right in front of me all along. And so Justin looked up the Japanese word for perfect, which is kanpeki. So that is his name. His name is Kanpeki-chan, and we call him Pecky for short, because he's just perfect. He's Mr. Perfect. So the question, do I want to put glitter on this? Because one of the other things that I was going to mention in a favorites video, if I ended up making one this month, Muse Beauty, I made an order on Muse Beauty Pro during their big, like, semi-annual sale, and they sent me samples of these glitter jellies, glitter things from Lemonhead Los Angeles. They have two different ones. One's more geared toward the hair, face and body, and then the other ones are eye and lip safe, so make sure you distinguish those two. Spoiler alert, the ones with the bigger, chunkier pieces of glitter are usually not for the eyes and lips. This one is used for the eyes and lips, and it's like a hollow glitter, and I absolutely love it because it doesn't show up until it catches the light. It's completely invisible. But these are like glitter gels, basically. They're, I'll pick it up with a brush here to show you, and we'll add some, why not? But these are glitter gels, so pretty much it's a gel texture with a bunch of pieces of glitter scattered throughout. And these are absolutely gorgeous. Some of the colorways are just so pretty and so unique and kind of exciting. And the more I started using these, the more I fell in love with them because they're so easy to use. You just pat it on either with a brush or with your finger. I've done both ways and they both work great. And it's just so easy to use, and it looks fantastic. Like, you can see as it starts to hit the light as I turn my head, it's just absolutely striking. That hollow rainbow glittery action, which is just wonderful. And it doesn't, from my experience anyway so far, it doesn't really move any of the product that I've placed underneath. So it just, you know, adds glitter. It doesn't take away any of the eyeshadow or anything like that. But I usually like to wrap them around the cheekbone here just to add a little bit of interest. They've stayed on all day. I have, you know, if I have any flaking or fallout, it's extremely minimal, and they're just really nice. And it's a shame that they're so expensive because I wanted to buy all of them. So Lemonhead Los Angeles, if you're looking for some sparkle to add to your life, check them out because they're fantastic. I mean, look at that. That's so pretty. I'm going to slap on a lip for you guys as soon as I decide what I want to put on, and then I will be back to show you the finished look. I'm back, and look who's joining me. Whoops. Okay, buddy. I promise I'll let you go soon. This is Pecky. This is Conpecky. That's Conpecky. I figured I'd introduce you guys to him. And this is the finished look. I kept going back and forth on lip color, but honestly, I think I'm just going to keep it this way. It's sort of, this is the Sephora Cream Lip Stain in, I forget what it's called, but it's like the deep teal color. You guys know what I'm talking about. I've used it before. I've decided I like it. At first I was like, oh, it's a little too green, it's not quite blue enough, but I feel like it joins the other colors in the look well without necessarily taking over, if that makes any sense. So it'll do. It's good enough. That's about it for me. So without further ado, the thing I always forget to do, let's do some awkward posing. Awkward posing. Looking down. Looking forward. Looking fierce. I hope you guys found this video helpful, informative, or entertaining. If you did, there's a button for that. Spank that like button in the butt, you know it deserves it. And if you want to see more from me, got a couple options now. You can click the videos on either side of my head to binge if you're bored or bummed out, or hey, you can hit that button that looks like my face and subscribe and become a member of the faithful today. I put out new videos every Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining me today, and I will see you in the next video. Toodles!